Before we get underway, I do want to say that this letter was sent before Chris's hearing the other day where we found out that he's going to a grand jury, so you're not going to see Chris's big old freak out that we all expect, but you may see something even worse, because what I'm hearing is that Chris says some pretty fucked up shit in this letter regarding Barbara, and we're going to have to look into that and find out. But, like usual, we're going to go into this fairly blind. I haven't read the letter, I've just heard some things about it, so let's jump right into it. You know, it's another one sent to Kangol. They're basically always sent to Kangol. If it's not him, it's the Eels Negman guy. But it says, "Hey Kangol," or "Hey Kenneth," and then he puts the date up there of 07/25/2022. Now, it may look like it says 07/25/2052, but no, remember, Chris draws some of his 2's backwards in order to make it look like a heart. Even though the 7/25, that's a 5, but the 7, this is real confusing. It's real confusing. I think you know what I mean, but yeah, it was sent out on July 25th. I am enclosing an open letter to the online public and my followers and allies. Please upload it at your earliest leisure. Thank you, be safe and well, Mrs. Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed. No, that's the beginning of the letter. And, you know, it's weird that he starts the letters with the way he usually ends them, but that's all that's on this page, you know? It's this, and then just a whole slate of blank paper, which is kind of, you know, like, I mean, how many pieces of paper does Chris get to send out letters? It seems like he's wasting some valuable writing room here, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? He might just get a whole fucking phone book worth of paper. But let's jump to the next page. Greetings and many blessings and enlightenments to you all. I'm happy that he's broken the whole ye all shit that he was doing a couple months back. You know, Chris is starting to come back down to earth. It's good to see. I take pen in hand today. Firstly, to personally express my humble appreciations and gratitude unto all of ye. God fucking damn it. Damn it. We are so close. We're so close. His handwriting, this is the first time I've noticed this. His handwriting is miraculously better. Like, this is good shit. Doesn't even look like he wrote that. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a couple minutes here. Hold up. Okay, so I looked around and this is a real letter from Chris, but I just, you know, maybe I've read so many of these and I never noticed how his penmanship has improved to where now I just noticed it and it looks a lot better than I remembered. But no, this is Chris, and this is, you know, his little quirks are still all there, so, you know, it's 99% this is Chris. But yeah, so let's jump back into it. He wants to express his humble appreciations and gratitude unto all of ye for all of thy genuine concerns and open-hearted kindness over the past year, during this time, and over the years. Over the years, people treated you like shit. I don't know who was sending you their divine wishes, or whatever the fuck. During this time, I have received positive and good vibe letters from over 100 of ye all. Jesus Christ. You see, and that's just the positive and good vibe letters from 100 of y'all. You know, that's not counting all the troll bullshit he got, which is probably about 200 or 300, I assume. Because if there's 100 people being nice to Chris, then there's definitely about 300 or 400 people willing to fuck with him. You know, it's just how these odds even out. But, you know, then again, Chris could just be misinterpreting a lot of these letters as positive, or it's just people trying to, like, be snarky, so who knows. But yeah, Chris is, you can bet Chris has gotten the most letters probably this prison has ever seen, or this jail has ever seen, because Chris gets the letters, and when they start coming, they don't stop fucking coming. But let's move on. I also put in writing that I shall never ever reveal or share anyone's names and addresses from all of that. Never online anywhere. Never in the publishing of my in-jail goddess log pages, which is absolutely separate from my little address booklet. And never to the general public, period. So that's something that, again, Chris is, like, clarifying, because for the past few months, that's been something I've said a lot, that, you know, if you write Chris, you're most likely going to get doxxed when he publishes his whole goddess log, which was gonna, at first, when he described it, you know, now Chris is going back on it like he does with most things in these jail letters, but I'm pretty sure he described it as it was just going to be these jail letters and his responses to it, and, like, it was going to be a chronicling of his jail stay and all that shit, but now he's saying that this is completely different. And all these people's, like, address booklet, the little booklet Chris keeps on him so he knows who he's going to write and all that, that's going to stay under wraps. So, you know, the people who wrote Chris, you know, one, don't write Chris, don't get involved with this dude in any way, but you can sleep a little easier at night knowing that he's probably not going to dox you. You know, you never know with Chris. He could wake up one morning and just think, you know, what the fuck? All these people writing to me are just clout chasers. I need to get their names out there. You never know with Chris, and that's what's so dangerous about it, because he's a wild card, and he doesn't know what he's going to do next, because Chris is just, he's out there, man. He's He's not all there. He's not all there. But let's jump again. I also have heard and received the billions to infinite prayers all of ye had prayed, expressing thy wishes for my personal safety, health, well-being, return home to the Sonichu Temple, for Barbara's health and being, and even to and for a reunion between her and I, and so on. Billions to infinite prayers. I mean, that's one or two people who've got to be praying a whole fucking lot. Because I don't think there's anyone genuinely who's prayed for Chris. There may be like a Catholic out there who like, truly believes that Chris is in the right and they're just praying for his well-being. But for the most part, I think it's just people online saying, man, what an asshole. Like, you reap what you sow, guy. But yeah, Chris feels all those prayers and all, but then again, Chris feels like a lot of things are happening that aren't happening, so, classic Chris. But he says that, everyone's been wishing for his safety and wishing that him and Barb can have a reunion. I don't know who the fuck is wishing for that, but if you're wishing for that, then you ought to be in jail too, because you know what'll happen if him and Barb get back together. But let's keep going down and see what happens. That last one, second, is also a concern that I write to all of ye about today. I really jumped the gun in the beginning of the video saying that he got over that, son of a bitch. But what he's talking about with that last one, I assume is saying that, he's talking about the prayers that everyone's been wishing about him and Barbara making a reunion, because that's what he's here to talk about today. So I guess what I've heard from people is right, and this is where it's going. But let's keep going, because I want you guys to, I think you can start to see where this is going, because if he has some concerns about the reunion between the two of them, I think he's souring on that reunion. But as I have stated within the early pages of my goddess log, which none of us have read because it's in Chris's jail cell, and unto all of ye before, I have long foreknown and foreseen of our separation on July 30th, 2021. It's exactly 1 year ago today. Ain't that fucking crazy? As well as her eventual accident, losing the van, and yes, regardless of I saving her soul and guiding her to her rose chew form / body, that's what he's going with now, fucker. Even the passing on of her human body, of which still most stubbornly continues to live and linger in this... Oh, he's such a piece of shit. He doesn't... Stubbornly... Oh, man. Stubbornly live and linger in the Sonichu Temple with, and then he puts in brackets, redneck refusal to leave. Oh my god, like, where did this come from? I mean, I know where it came from. Out of the past few months, Chris is just becoming real fucking mad at Barb about all this. When you have no one left to blame, just blame the victim, I guess. But just, wow, that line there, how she just continues to live and linger stubbornly. Just, I don't know where this is going to take a turn now on the next page, because I didn't know he was about to go this fucking mask off on Barbara. I mean, Jesus, a lot of people, I have to say this again, because a lot of people always bring this up. Yes, Barbara was a shitty parent. You created the monster here, obviously. But now she's an 80-year-old woman. She's not the same, 50 or 60-year-old who had more of a mind about her, who was being a shitty parent, and, just not caring about it. At this point, what state of mind is she even in, if there's even a state of mind left for her to be in? At this point, it just seems like it's not the same person. I don't know. To me, it does. Obviously, we can all agree Barb wasn't the best parent. She's not the best person. But, the only people that I could see deserving what she just got from Chris is, maybe pedos or, hardcore murderers. And to my knowledge, Barb was neither of those things. So yes, I'll sit here and clown on her and clown on Chris about this stuff all day long, but at the end of the day, when Chris tries to act like she's a big issue here, it's like, motherfucker, you're the one who initiated this. We just covered the call the other day, and Chris said, quote unquote, that, she was really confused at first when I started doing this, but now she's starting to kind of get with it. Barb at first didn't know what the fuck Chris was doing. Didn't know, there's a lot here to unpack. And, there's also been rumors that for years back, Barb would always be snuggling with Chris, always be weird with Chris. Maybe, but until, Chris, if he had done something with Barb back then, Chris has always been a blabbermouth. We would have heard about it. He wouldn't have just came out with it now. The fact that it just started last year, it took him, a couple weeks to admit that he did it. So, yeah, like I said, Barb, I'm not here to defend her, but I am here to say that there's nobody really deserves this, and other than the worst of the worst. And an 80-year-old woman who's not all there, I don't know. I don't know. So when Chris says this shit, it makes it 10 times worse to me. Because I'm just like, it's not only your mom, but it's the person you did this shit to. I don't know. I'm going on a tangent here. Sorry if I know some people are feverishly typing away in the comments now, like, fuck you, Barb's a bitch. But, like, I agree, but at the same time, it's not. It's just, this is too much. It is indeed clear and obvious, especially to all with spiritual and psychic ability, that she is sickly, and her passing on is to be from emotions, and yet you were fucking on her less than a year ago. So for you to say this, just Jesus Christ, it's so much, it's just me, or is he just making himself sound so much worse? Like, you don't gotta be a spiritual wizard to see that Barb is fucking not all there, and she's like a frail old woman, but yet this is the person that Chris chose to be all, it was his last option, I guess, but what a fucking option to pick. Yet again, she still lives, and zombie-like as well. Like, see, come on. This is the same woman who he said last year was confused about all the shit he was doing to her and all. And it's like, just stop, fucker. And this was, and is fact, throughout the majority of branching alternate timelines since August 2021, wherein she had died in most of them. By now. Most of them by now. What? Like, what? Where is he going? So, from what I thought I was getting from that was that he said, she hasn't been zombie-like until, since August 2021, meaning that she was fine before that, but as soon as all this jail stuff happened, she just became a zombie. But he said that, in other dimensions, she was supposed to die then. And I guess why she was supposed to die then is because there would be no witness and there would be no victim and there would be no reason for Chris to be in jail, I assume. So that's why he's saying, he's so pissed off about himself being in jail that he's now trying to say, if only that bitch had died a year ago, this would have all been good. Like, he's really always, I feel like he's literally ran out of people to point to and blame. This is wild. This is exactly what people were summing up to me. I think this is the worst Chris has ever come off in one of these letters. I don't know. Leave it in the comments below. But at this point, I'm already just like, wow. Like, to the people who are in my comments defending Chris every day, like, come defend him in this one. This is just off the fucking walls. That being stated, it has been clear and obvious due to that Barbara, and then in brackets, Chris writes, her human body pre-death. Fucker. What does that even mean? And Barbara and I absolutely cannot be together again due to the paradoxes, regardless of the quote-unquote legal restraining order imposed in this timeline. So I think this is important because Chris is saying here that he does not want to he can't be near Barbara ever again. He can't be together with her again. So I think anyone still, and it's something that I've thought too, that he wants to go home and he just wants to start boinking on Barb again. I think that's out of the question now. Chris simply sees this as, and this is my theory, Chris sees this as Barb is the one they're looking at as the victim. Barb's probably the only witness to this in Chris's mind, and if she's not here anymore, there's no reason for him to be in jail. That's in my opinion, that's probably what Chris thinks here. He doesn't even care about seeing her anymore. All he cares about, and it's clear what he said in the last parts of these letters, he thinks that she should already be gone. And he thinks she should have been gone since last August. This is a fucked up letter. This is the most fucked up and deepest we've gone into this in any of these letters. And, if you have a different opinion, drop it in the comments below. But this is the only thing I can gather from this. Because it's just, it's so weird. My body and I have wept time after time and again in processing and accepting all of that over these months over Barbara. And yes, deeply, despite that my body knows these facts, yet wishes for the impossible, one last in-person moment with her and triggers the tear-inducing emotion/feeling. Never mind, maybe he does want to boink her one more time. Pile that on top of all of your prayers wishing for the same thing. Why would anyone pray for that? In which it is about impossible. Like same timeline, past and future individual being together in the same time frame without a travesty befalling the past tense version and paradox ruling. You gotta stop doing this, Chris. This shit is like a roller coaster of the mind. This is too hard to stay on topic with. But yeah, let's move on. Chris talks about some travesty befalling them. I don't know what that could mean. Maybe it's the protective order that he sees as the travesty, but with and alongside the facts of this timeline, it's belaboring the eventual need to happens, thus manifesting your World War III between Ukraine and Russia, the cold March/May of 2022, with snow in April in Virginia, and the sun of righteousness alongside the sun itself, bringing on record-breaking heat temperatures and such. And then in all capitals, Chris writes, "How are ye all not woke by now?" Um, like, how did this go from that to that? I kind of lost here. But what Chris was saying up top is that he wishes he could see Barb one more time, but he can't because of like some travesty and all these problems that would happen. And it's just the way he keeps saying like it sucks that I think maybe this is his way of coping with saying like he knows she doesn't have much time left. But at the same time, why say it like he did? Like, oh, she's just lingering around like a redneck still in our house. Like, it's clear that he doesn't necessarily care, but at the end of the day, I guess deep down he still sees it as his mom, but also at the end of the day, he still sees this as his last-ditch effort to get out of jail. So, I don't know. That's at least what I'm taking by this. You can interpret these letters in a different way, too. It's just this fucking garble. You can probably interpret it in about 100 different ways. Let's jump to the next page. Anyway, how do you just anyway after saying all that? Well, the months up till after June 11th, 2022 have been a lot easier on body and eye, as you'll read later in the published Goddess Log pages in recent weeks. I assume he says that because it seems like around the time when he got back from the whole mental hospital and shit. And he had also said that he was been like, I guess they were like fucking with him there, or maybe they like pushed him around or whatever. Probably just because he wasn't doing what they told him to. But yeah, it's a lot easier just being back in the jail cell where he can just kind of just be by himself. But Body has become feeling frustrated while also remaining faithful and vigilant. How could she not? For we have all the godly and metaphysical experiences from our workings. The frustration is not great, to say the least. Well, Chris is going to feel a lot more frustrated in the next coming days after this letter when he finds out he's not getting out of there anytime soon. But, what does he say here? We shall feel better upon returning home to the Sanachu Temple and getting things in better order, with help from our friends and allies, local and in person by our personal request. Wouldn't local be in person? Like, why would people be helping you locally and not be with you in person? I don't know. And prayer, then and onward, doing everything and more for and with ye all as a better individual and goddess. So Chris is saying there, he's been so frustrated these last few months, and like I said, it's not going to get any better now when Chris is finding out that he's going to be facing a grand jury. And, Chris is facing a lot of time in jail if this grand jury decides to take him to trial. And if he does go to trial, it's not like he's going to be going home in between that time or before he sees the grand jury. Like, he's not going home anytime soon. And it's just wild to see him saying all this after saying, like I said, maybe I'm looking into it too much, but just like, I don't, this is the first time throughout one of these letters I'm just sitting here, like, really? Like, he really had the balls to say that? Like, just because, it just seems like at this point he's grasping at any type of straw he can get. Please keep prayer and faith in our return home, without or with Barbara there. See, like that, right there. Like, why add that? Like, because it just shows that he's like, if she's not there, then fuck it, If she is there, that's fine. Thank ye all, and be safe and well with my blessings, and the healings from the wings of the Son of Righteousness. Lots of love and gratefulness. Miss Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sanachu, the goddess blue heart of the one avatar, my Lord, Messiah, Savior, and God of all. The most egotistical and pretentious fucking name you could possibly write down there, but it's not. Chris goes back and forth with just simple Christ Chan Sanachu and then that fucking mess. But that's the end of this letter. But guess what? We still have another part of a letter to look at, guys. So, stay tuned. But I want to say another thing. There was a summary of a letter we read the other day where Chris was demanding $150,000, and he wanted to use most of that money to get Barb out of the house somehow and put her into a nursing home. So like in every way, that was like, I think on the 14th, this is on the 25th, somewhere within that like 11-day span, it went from like get her into a nursing home to she should have been dead by now. It's just, he is, like I said, he's completely seemingly turned against Barb, to even the point where if he did get out, he would just be like, yeah, no, Barb's his enemy now. And like I said, it's confusing because you can hear him say in this letter that he wishes he could see her one more time for like a tearful moment because, yeah, it's his mom. But then just a few lines earlier, he's saying that she's like a redneck who won't leave the house and shit. And she should get the fuck out of there and she should have died last year. So I don't know. But there's a lot to this stuff, Chris then wanted, like, I guess, Kengel and Helena and, like, all the people that write him to contact Barb, which is completely illegal because I'm pretty sure, I don't know if that protective order is still there, but I just don't think Kengel and them would want to open that can of worms. So, Chris is seemingly his only source of like the outside world is the people he's writing these letters to, and he's trying to treat them like he does with all the people in his life that have ever been kind of nice to him. He's trying to just boss them around and say, do this, do this, do that. And who knows if they'll do it, because there's just the people who write Chris aren't really all there either, but we'll see. Hey Kenneth, and this one is from 07/14/2022, so about 2 weeks prior. I am on board for the idea of the fan and support website. Do note, however, for the time being until after when my body and I return home to the Sonichu Temple, Helena Fiorenza's prophetic powers, insight, and present chroniclings aside, as they are more in tune with this timeline and present events in that which was most resonant and vibrational with her, in which I do realize I could have worded that better, but it's been a long day. I don't even understand what Chris meant by that. Like any of that he said. Like he even says it himself. Like, I could have worded that better. It's been a long day. Like, he doesn't even he probably reread it and was like, that doesn't make sense, but it's too late now. Too late now. It's not like I wish I had another piece of paper that I could write this on, and then in a week or so he'll leave that whole blank page. So, it's not like it's not like paper's coming easy to him, I guess. But at the top there, something that's kind of disappointing. He writes that he's on board for the idea of the fan and support website, and that is what we talked about last week, which was the Sonichu base that was brought up with Kengel and Helena and them to Chris. And, myself and like a lot of people were hoping, these fuckers are gonna chip in and buy Chris like a shitty crack shack where he could call it like his Sonichu base, maybe to be a little like a little brother to the Sonichu Temple. But no, it was just a website idea for Chris to post his art and all that shit. Most likely probably for these guys to post a lot of shit on Chris's behalf. But I don't know if we'll see that now that Chris is staying in jail. Maybe it's more likely we'll see it now that Chris is staying in jail, but who knows? Let's go down and keep on reading this one. And of course, that from my works, insights, and everything, personally aside as well, all other Sonichu/Rosechu fanfics remain not canon with the present and past year events and happenings in both halves of Universe 1C211987. And then in brackets he writes C197 and 1218. In this realm, in this prime timeline, we literally live in as we speak now, and so forth. So again, even a week or two ago, Chris was worried about if he was getting out of jail or not. He was frustrated and all that, but he still managed to tell everybody that, hey, just remember though, the most important thing is that all those fucking Sonichu and Rosechu fanfics, they are not canon to my real shit. And Chris just says this, he blurts this out all the time because he feels like he's in jail. So he can't be there to tell people that, hey, your shit's not canon. And with him not being there to say that, well then fuck, maybe the shit will become canon. So he has to stress to these people who are his only lifeline to the outside world, you gotta stress this to people, that I'm still in here saying, fuck you, your shit's not canon. And, it's like I said before, it's huge to Chris. This is bigger than most things to Chris, or people drawing his fucking Sonichu shit. Because if it's not in the way he wants it to be drawn, he don't want that shit drawn at all. And I add in validation, Caden, and in brackets he writes Prater, which is, the Prater was that group who I told before was in talks with Chris about like art and shit, and just, I don't know, like it was a group who was around Chris before he got put into jail, and Chris had came out recently and said this is where he had met Bella through. So I don't think this group's to be trusted in any way, but who knows what they're about, I don't know. And it's genuinely one who is able to speak on my behalf when appropriate, and is in friendship and business association with I in mutual agreements. Include him on the fan project website, period, please. So this Caden person seems to... Chris has a lot of hope in this Caden guy, you know? While Chris is in jail, this Caden guy is kind of handling all types of Sonichu business out here. I wonder why the Sonichus themselves couldn't do it, you know, because they're out of jail, not with Chris. You know, you'd think Magichan would have this shit on lock, but I guess not. Caden's got to do it. What the fuck? It's someone new every week. Thank you, Englehart. Be safe and well. Mrs. Jesus Christ Chan Sonichu. So, that was another letter that Kengal had gotten and released. I assume we may be seeing more unreleased letters that came out previously that will be released now that Chris is staying in jail. That letter that I read at first, though, the one from 725, that was only sent out like yesterday, and Kengal got it. So, you know, I mean, not sent out yesterday, but that was delivered to Kengal yesterday. So, you know, who knows what Chris is going to say next? As I said, this was wacky. This was pretty eye-opening to see that Chris really doesn't give a fuck about what he's saying anymore. Or just, like I said, he seems like he's given up on everyone now. Except for, like, Kengal and Caden and these people, of course. They're Chris's homies. But, just always a wacky ride with Chris. But this time it was much more, in my opinion, this was a much darker letter. Because it shows that Chris, like I said, he can say that, oh, he wants to see her one more time and all, but you see the little sayings are there. You know what Chris is really thinking, and this is it all, like, he's been just building up to this for the past few months, saying that Barb's too old and shit to even testify, saying that he wants her put in a fucking hospital, and now saying that she should have died last year in August, which, like I said, really is weird when you consider he got arrested 1 year ago today on July 30th, and August would have meant that he barely spent any time in jail at all, and then once she died, it would have been like, oh, well, I guess we have no reason to keep this guy here, so we might as well let him go back out to Gallivant. You know, it just, to me, the signs are there, but, you know, I could just be enjoying this edible too much. But at the end of the day, this really isn't not my problem what Chris does with fucking his time now, and I just hope you guys are happy that it's not your problem too. So let's go ahead and give some shout outs here. I want to give a shout out to Vanessa, Krabby, Liz Vendor, Club Doom, your mom, Cody Hale, the Ghostbusters fan, Worman Bjornson, Scaly Schisms, Echo Spectre, Sky, Mick Surly, Akiba's Beat fan, the Night Owl. You guys are all fucking goats. And all you guys who've made it this far in the video, I know this was another rough one today, guys, so I wouldn't blame you if you clicked off about 25 minutes ago. But if you made it this far, you're a goat as well. And, you know, if you made it this far, I always in every video tell y'all that I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, you know. It's Friday. I hope you had a great fucking Friday, a great start to the weekend. But now you can look forward to tomorrow, which is another day of just kicking back and relaxing. Well, actually, this will be released on Saturday, so you can look forward to that day today. And you can also look forward to the fact that you don't got to get your ass up for work tomorrow as well. So crack a beer, you know, get a pizza, you know, eat a whole goddamn pizza. If your stomach's hurting in the morning, shit, you don't got nowhere to be. Just go have a good time, guys. Do what you enjoy. And if that's working out and not eating a giant pizza, well, shit, then you're not a stoner like me. But I commend you on your dedication to actually doing shit. So, where do we go from here? I don't know. I'm probably gonna chill. I'm probably gonna play some video games, and yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna enjoy my weekend like I hope all you guys enjoy yours. So, with that being said, take care, y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe.